In 1969, a group of astronauts changed the world. They walked on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
In 1972, our journey ended. We've never been back. 2010 begins a year of change. Private companies are working on next-generation spaceships. Governments are looking to go back to the moon and on to Mars. It's time to look up and dream again. It's time to push humans into the cosmos. It's time to educate and engage the planet. It's time for Spacevidcast.
Welcome to the most latest episode of Spacevidcast for June 11th, 2010. I have no idea what episode number this is.
The most latest. It's the most latest one.
And if you're watching this in the future, it's no longer the most latest episode of Spacevidcast.
If you're watching this in the future? Or in the past, if you've already watched this one, it's not the latest.
It's been one of those nights. My name is Benjamin Higginbotham. With me is beautiful, lovely, and wonderful Carrie Ann Higginbotham. I've called this one in already, apparently. We'll be your host tonight. Tonight's show is action-packed. We have got sharks. We have got UFOs. We have got behind the scenes of STS 132. We have got a moon wrapped in a bow. And what else do we have? Oh, you can put your face in space. All that wrapped into tonight's little show. Let's get started, because this thing has got so much information with some space news. Space news. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to start with the really.
Start with whatever you like.
Start with SpaceX. Give me a rundown of SpaceX. Oh, I ruined it. Let's start with the UFO. I wonder what the UFO could be.
Oh, goodness.
Okay,
so you guys remember back, it was only a couple of months ago, it was like over Iceland or Norway or something like that.
They had the weird, like, Russian...
There was the weird twisty, like, thing, and everyone was freaking out about what it was. Right, because it kind of looked like this weird, like, lasery, I don't know, it was kind of creepy.
It was really cool.
Right. So anyway, and nobody was owning up to it and all of that other stuff, and we finally figured out that it was a rocket, and it was one of the stages was spiraling.
Well, check this one out.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is again. I'm using night mode now. And it's just moving very slowly towards the eastern sky with a mist around it the whole time. A mist that is circling. The mist is like, it's hard to describe, elliptical around it.
Alright, so it's a little bit harder to see there, the kind of spiral that it's doing, but you can see the beginnings of this spiral, and obviously a lot of you can tell from the accent and whatnot that this was one that was shot, thank you, in Australia. And so not only did we have that weird twisty thing going on over in Norway that everyone thought was UFO, but now there's another sighting of one in Australia. Very, very wee early hours of the day is my understanding. But as Ben has already given away the ending, it was actually SpaceX's Falcon 9, which launched successly last Friday.
And they totally proved me wrong. If you watched our last live show, which at that time was the most recent show,
except for if you watch in the future, then it's not so much anymore.
I said that there was too much pressure on SpaceX, and that I thought they would give it a go, but they would have to scrub because they need to have absolutely everything perfect. And if you've watched our coverage of SpaceX Falcon 1 launches before, you'll remember that in the Falcon 1 Flight 3 or 4, I don't remember which,
I think it was 3.
They got down to like T-1 second, and then they scrubbed because something went wrong. And then they recycled and they launched.
Yeah.
So I figured, we'll probably have something similar, but we're going to scrub because, it's not going to happen. We mentioned that all last week. Boy, did SpaceX prove me wrong. insert foot in mouth. They did scrub at T-minus 2.2 seconds or whatever it was. And then they turn around and they're like, I know we only have like an hour left in our window. Let's go for it. And they did, and they successfully launched the Falcon 9, the maiden voyage of the Falcon 9 rocket. And keep in mind, this is a test article. This is a test vehicle. You expect them to explode. It's not expected to be a successful mission. Oh no. It went up. It did everything it was supposed to. It was a beautiful launch. It was absolutely gorgeous.
And then proceeded to scare an entire country worth of people.
How could you get better than that? It looked cool. It looked different than other rocket launches. It was fun to see that many people interested about this launch event. Normally we don't get that much interest unless it's a human space flight. This was the first time we had that many viewers for a non-human space flight other than the Mars Phoenix lander. Again,
history being made, though.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what it was.
And then to top it all off, they freaked a bunch of people out. Awesome.
SpaceX I heart SpaceX.
Speaking of freaking people out, how about we tie the moon up in a bow? It's not quite right.
This does kind of weird me out a little bit.
It's awesome.
I was talking about it with my brother, and he was like, I'd cut off my finger to be Superman. He's like, if this solves our energy crisis, why wouldn't you want it? And I'm like, all right, perspective, I get it, but still, I'm not sure how I feel about a headband on Todd.
So
that's all I'm saying.
The Japanese firm Shimizu, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
Yeah.
How do you think it is?
Shimizu?
What is it? Shimizu. Okay. Wants to put a solar band all the way around the moon. You can kind of see it in the top on the shot of the moon there. You can see the band across the top. And they're going to use it as a giant solar collector and beam that energy back to Earth. It's a lot like space-based solar power, but it's attached to Todd.
Right.
And
they're calling it the Luna Ring.
Here's the master plan. I love that it says master plan, too.
That's so awesome.
Doesn't that make, hang on, I just want to point out, does that not look a little bit like the Death Star in that photo?
It does.
Just a little bit like...
You stand here.
Yeah.
Everybody else get away.
Everyone else move.
It does look like some sort of evil master plan to take over the Earth.
It does, but
that's
looks
all
really
I'm
cool.
saying. It does, but that is, that is kind of an interesting idea. And what a great way to use space resources to solve the energy crisis here on Earth.
Right.
Perfectly clean, abundant power that will be available essentially till the end of time.
Right.
Well, until the sun blows
and
out.
One of
goes out.
Which at that point, who cares?
There's a closer shot.
Yeah, that's really kind of a cool shot. One of the other things is in their plan that most of this stuff will be done by robots, so that we don't need humans to be up on the moon setting all of this up. They will be supervised by a human colony eventually. I don't know if we've got it. Did you get that picture?
No, we got that.
Okay,
so
that's the human
they have
colony.
a plan for the human colony, too, so they can send up the robots to pre-build all this stuff, send a human colony up. This is why this stuff is awesome. They're talking about solving the energy crisis here on Earth. I'm thinking like, hey, dude, I will go help on the human colony on the moon.
Right. Well, the cool thing is
whatever you need me to do, I will help with.
The picture that you're looking at, it's not pixelated. Those are actually a bunch of hexagonal type rooms, I want to say, that are all put together. And the idea is that they're hexagonal so you can build on them in any sort of direction, if that makes any sense, instead of making these squares that they're hexagonal. And that a lot of that will be built from lunar soil that they're going to use regolith and to make these things, and then the robots will make a lot of that too before we even get there, which will be.
I think it's a really cool plan. Obviously, it's just kind of a drawing board plan, and they've got a really. This is an out there firm. They have got a lot of really like.
They're very forward thinking.
Oh yeah. Now it probably never happened, but it was really really neat. And as Todd the Moon said, great more litter. I think the idea is we will be able to put humans there to pick up the litter. We're just going to wrap you in a nice little bow is really what it comes down to. Todd the Moon, right here.
A shiny little bow.
Right here, Todd the Moon.
Hi, Todd.
Comment. You can put your face in space.
Exactly.
That rhymes.
I know. I'm pretty sure.
I put my face in space for STS-134, which right now is the last space shuttle mission.
I put mine on 133.
I'm cooler, I guess. Just saying.
I have something against Endeavour.
So you can go to faceinspace.nasa.gov.
Yes.
Endeavour.
I just
you
have
like
something.
The spelling?
I know. I have something. Anyway.
And you can help describe this for me. You upload your photo.
It's super, super simple. Like, it's way simpler than I thought it was going to be. You can put your name and face in space, or just your name if you prefer. And the whole thing is that you get this little sort of confirmation number when you're done with the whole thing. And really, when I say done with the whole thing, I mean you enter in your name and an email address, and that's it.
And your photo. You upload your photo.
If you want your photo,
No,
yes.
that's right, yeah.
If you want your photo, you can upload your photo. And they immediately give you a confirmation number. And then once the mission goes up, you'll get an email just sort of ping saying, okay, cool. And then you can print out this certificate saying, my face went into space. And so it'll have like your picture, it'll have like the emblem of the mission that it went up on, and you know, electronic signatures of everybody and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. My issue is, why the frick didn't you start this like 20 missions ago? That's just me, though, because I think it's a really cool thing, and I think it's kind of cute, and it's super easy to do, and you know, anybody can do it. And
Spaceface.nasa.gov? No, face in Tim. Face in space.
What is this, the IT crowd?
I know.
Face space, face space, face space.
When we come back, we're going to be talking with Tim and George of the Space Task Force / Spacevidcast / National Space Society / Shark Task Force / anything else to do with space ever known by humans.
Or sharks.
We'll be right back.
Exploration. It's driven us around the world, across vast oceans, and even into space.
We set sail on this new sea because there is new knowledge to be gained.
Explorers like Christopher Columbus, Lewis and Clark, Amelia Earhart, Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin. Space shuttle astronauts like Sally Ride, working to make the impossible possible. Projects like Apollo, the International Space Station, robotic missions to all the planets in the solar system, and back here on Earth, developing incredible technologies like the internet. When we explore, we find our future. When you explore, you'll find your future too. We've been to the moon. 12 people have walked there, but that's only the beginning. We landed on the moon with primitive technology. A simple cell phone today has more power. How will you use that power? One day, it will be easy for you to go into space in a new generation of spaceships. You may even go to Mars to set up a base. Maybe one of you will venture to the red planet and look back at the Earth. Or live and work in a base on the moon. Or go to other places beyond your wildest imagination. You'll use technology that hasn't even been invented yet. Find solutions that we can't comprehend right now. And look at math and science in new ways. The fact is, anything is possible. You decide the future.
I have no idea what you're trying to say.
He's been on the show the most.
I win!
I believe he has now beat DJ Dr.
DJ Dr. P?
Yeah, exactly. But George, let's talk about you a little bit, because you're not just a space geek, you're also a shark geek as well.
Yeah, well, I'm a graduate of the X Prize Foundation, kind of the Peter Diamandis School of Space, which zero gravity as well. I'm a journalist, formerly trained journalist, but in later days I work on basically creating cool content, technology, and then space and sharks. Those are my two areas of expertise, and I believe they kind of bookend a lot of why we're here on this planet.
And George also collects a lot of space memorabilia, so what you can't see...
We're actually at a secret location here, actually the headquarters of the Space Task Force. So we have a lunar map, we have some Alan Bean paintings, lighted Earth, there's a Spaceship One up there, the space shuttle back there. So yeah, it's actually the museum of the Space Task Force.
And I think you're actually in line to get one of the space shuttles when they retire, right? You're going to get, are you Endeavour? Is that the one that you're
that's right. And
trying to pick up?
We're trying to fit it in here. You know, we're making sure all the, you know, that the shuttle is saved properly. It's going to take some time, but should be very exciting here on the Space Coast to actually have two shuttles, one up at KSC and one down here.
In the garage.
In the garage. You can use the, one of the space shuttle main engines as a coffee table. That's the rumor I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be very tall coffee table. But
I plan to have a big house.
George, you know, not a lot of people know this, but prior to us making the Spacevidcast show, we were trying to think of what did we want to do for a show, and it was kind of stuck between oceans and space, because I wanted to do something about exploration, and I believe that we should explore our oceans more, and we should go and and we should explore space more. Two areas that are I don't want to say diametrically opposed, but at the same, I mean, they're kind of different but the same.
Right.
Right. Now you have Shark Task Force. Is that correct? I saw that in the banner as well.
Yeah. Most of the time, especially this year, I'm at sea tracking sharks. Very important to me right now to document these creatures, kind of as they're. Unfortunately, they're really under a lot of pressure by man, overfishing, shark fin soup, things like that. So as we put the pressure on the environment, especially what's happening with the Gulf right now, I think it's very important to go out there and document these creatures as they are today. And so I'm spending a lot of time at sea with a lot of really good people to get as close to these animals as possible and document them. And one of the things I like to talk about is space and sharks. I think that as explorers, and we drive where we're going as a species, how we protect the planet and how we protect it for the future, for future generations, I mean, it says a lot about us as a species. And if we're able to do that for the Earth, and then we're able to branch out and explore the cosmos too, I mean, I think that's the best of both worlds. But we have to protect the Earth so we have something to come back to. Because, I was looking at that lunar colony that kind of looked all the Lego blocks, and I'm thinking about some of the things I saw just last week out in the Pacific, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go to the moon, and I'll live on a moon base, but I'm going to want to come back and jump in the oceans and see some of the life down here too. So I want to have something to come back to as we explore space.
No, wait, the video we have, is that the video you took prior to STS-132? Not a lot of people know this. So George and Tim were helping us for STS-132.
Hence the very cool shirts.
Absolutely. And he literally, like, flies in. He's like, yeah, no, I was just swimming with sharks like 20 minutes ago. Had to come here for a launch event.
And it was about like 8 shades darker too.
It was pretty awesome. So is the video you have of that event, or is that the one that you just did?
Yeah, well, actually, the oceanics in that video were the ones I just did before STS-132, and it's always a question of, can I clear customs fast enough or get back in the country fast enough to get to a launch? And then I kind of asked NASA, hey, could you just maybe move that back, slip that launch a few weeks so I can get to my sharks and get back? And
that's
so
why
far,
Rocket Scrub.
It's George's fault.
It's George's. We actually, this is some stunning footage. We've got some of the stuff that you took. If you want to narrate along, because I don't think there's any audio with this. If you want to narrate and tell us what we're watching, here, check this out.
Well, first of all, it's the analog of every time I'm on the ocean, I look up at the moon and I'm thinking about space. And some of the places we go to are very remote out in the Atlantic. And the analog, again, is when you're underwater, you're weightless. You're in this new environment. You have a life support system with you. And so you have to, it's a calculated risk. Every time you go into the ocean, you have to do things right. And then some of the amazing species, this is an oceanic white tip that, part of the thing I really like to do is get as close to these animals as possible and, really focus in on the eyes too, because you really capture the essence of the animal. Oceanic whitetips, Jacques Cousteau called them the most aggressive sharks in the sea. But just beautiful underwater. This is a blue shark. And you talk about an alien on Earth, the blue shark with its shimmering skin underwater in blue water is just such a beautiful creature. And again, unfortunately, due to pressure, fishing, and things like that being wiped off, tiger sharks. This is a 14-foot tiger shark in the Bahamas by the name of Emma. Beautiful shark. I've spent a lot of time with that shark in the Bahamas. Had the good fortune at a place called Tiger Beach, which my two favorite places on planet Earth are Kennedy Space Center and Tiger Beach in the Bahamas. Just really connecting. This is a tiger shark in Fiji. I spent some time in Fiji with tiger sharks. And the next shark you'll see, you may be seeing it right now depending on the delay. This is a bull shark in Fiji at one of the feedings there. And then, of course, everybody's favorite is the white shark. This was the island of Guadalupe in the Pacific Ocean. We cage dive with these because they're very fast animals, and it's just a different kind of shark. And then finally, I wanted to end with this, and I just shot this last week off the coast of Baja, California. This is a giant Pacific manta ray, and nothing it makes me want to protect the Earth more when I see a creature like this. And look at that. I mean, when we explore other worlds, and I want beautiful sunset in the Bahamas there. Yeah, but as we explore other worlds and we leave the Earth, we'll find things like that for sure. But we're always going to want to come back here and appreciate the life back on this planet too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always thought that was a really interesting aspect. And by the way, for anyone wondering, his Twitter name is Space Shark. Space Shark, right?
Yep.
So very easy to remember that one.
Yes.
And you're telling these stories. We're standing in line for the bus to go out to the RSS rollback for STS-132, and you're just telling these stories of you went out there, you were out for a long time, just like nothing but you. And what was how deep was it? 14,000.
Well, yeah, 14,000 feet underneath, and again, it's a great analog for going into space. And when I'm with the sharks, sometimes we have to wait for them to arrive, and so you're sitting there, kind of floating. You look down, knowing that there's 14,000 feet of water under you, and you're on a life support system, and you're thinking that wow, when the astronauts do the walks up in space, they're doing these same things. They're and again, it's all about mitigating risk, because every time you go in the ocean, you've got to be informed, you got to know your surroundings, and as we look at spaceflight and we look at some of the risk associated with spaceflight, it's the same thing. How can we deal with those risks to do what we need to do to go up there?
But at least in space, you don't have to worry about sharks.
Well, I'd have to take a shark with me if I was going on a long trip.
So we will. So
just for the novelty of it.
As soon as George goes to space, then we will have to worry about sharks, just so everyone knows. That's how that
little shark swimming along in its own spacesuit. I can't wait for that day.
There is good science to know how will a shark swim in space.
That is no. I think there's small enough sharks but not getting the water up there. I forget what a gallon of water these days to get into space. I think it'd be expensive to have that shark habitat up there.
That would be a very small habitat. They have very small people habitats in space, so I'm imagining that the shark habitat probably also very small.
Oh, I've got flashbacks of Star Trek II going through my head. Or no, four, not two, 4.
That's right.
All right, let's move on to STS-132, because you had just done your shark stuff, and then you flew in. You're like running to catch the bus. Like, oh, all right, let's do this thing. Right you made that noise too. It was great.
That is pretty much what it was. It was very impressive.
Like he's just racing in, like tipping his camera, getting some of the water out. Like, oh, let's go shoot some space shuttles now. Actually, we've got a little bit of a behind the scenes. Hey, do one of you two want to set this up?
Oh, Lord. So while we were out at STS-132, we decided that we would actually document what it's like to document the space shuttle experience. So a lot of this was while we had the very nice cameras set up and filming everything and putting out the good footage, and you guys were setting up your cameras so that you'd have this nice, crisp HD footage to show off. I took the little handy cam and kind of went nuts, and George grabbed it, and we were just doing the behind the scenes. George does actually a lot of video editing for behind the scenes stuff for America's Next Top Model and, you know, all those great reality shows. And we said, this is at least as good as America's Next Top Model. Probably we would do better.
As you'll see in the video.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little photography going on there.
Good stuff going on.
Let's roll that clip.
Tweeting?
I was tweeting about how cool it is to be out here at the RSS rollback for Space Shuttle Atlantis, getting ready for STS-132 tomorrow. Here we are, out at RSS rollback, Ben and Carrie-Ann, getting ready to get their glamour shots done. That's right. It's not helping Ben at all.
Right over your shoulder. Go. America's Next Top Model, right there.
All right, come in. Just one of you and then we'll do both. Do you have enough room? That was really cool. I did. That was the closest I've ever been to a space shuttle.
Work it, Carrie-Ann. Work it. Atlantis. It's a stiff breeze out here today. George, just get it.
Very nice, very nice.
Are you guys not getting one together?
Nah.
Oh, that's George is filming all of us, talking about the fact that like we're in middle school. That's exactly what...
all of the bedroom talk.
Yes, Ben and Carrie-Ann, we are still on the NASA bus. Tim?
It hasn't gone anywhere yet. It's at least got air conditioning, though. We've been standing out in the hot sun for hours on end, waiting to watch a big piece of metal move around the space shuttle, which is great.
But now here's the thing. You know, we're on the NASA bus, but it is still a part of space history because if you're going to be stuck on a bus, the best place in the world to be stuck on a bus is at the Kennedy Space Center because every time you look out the window,
there's something cool. Look, there's a guard shack. It's been there since 1960.
Yeah, cool. And it's history. It's history, history, history. It's all about history.
And this is the side that most people don't get to see, is what the press get to go through or have to go through to be able to come out and cover these launches for people. So it's pretty amazing to be on the inside and get to see how close they let you get and how far they make you stay back from everything that's happening out here.
Exactly, and the other good thing is we picked out a seat right by the air conditioning, which is very important in the beautiful state of Florida. So Ben and Carrie-Ann will be on the bus probably a little bit longer, but we won't miss launch.
No, they got to get us back away from here. We're less than a mile from the pad. They will not launch with us here, I hope.
So we'll see you back somewhere around the press center. George Schellenger, Tim Bailey here. You know, we are at a place right... Oh, I'm hitting the Zoom. Stand by. Mistake. With George Schellenger, Tim Bailey here. Tim, we are at the crew walkout for STS-132. Now, again, as we kind of take people more behind the scenes of what everything happens to launch, this is where they walk out and get on the Astro van. Next stop, Space Shuttle Atlantis and the pad.
So this is the last time that people actually get to see the astronauts outside of the vehicle up close and personal, because once they hit the Astro van, they start going out to the pad. You can see them on TV. They've got the cameras where in the white room they'll get fitted and make sure everybody's in the space shuttle. But this is the last time that any reporters or anybody outside of the white room crew really gets to see the astronauts. So it's a huge deal for them to come out of quarantine, walk past all of us, get in the Astro van. They always wave. They still have the cool silver Astro van that they use to take all the astronauts out to the pad. So historic moment, one of the final 3 walkouts possible.
Right. And these theoretically, the last astronauts to fly on board Space Shuttle Atlantis. Very exciting. Ben and Carrie-Ann, back to you. We will see you somewhere else in just a few minutes. I'm here with Susan Bolton, and we are at the crew walkout. Susan, thoughts?
This is my favorite part. I think it's actually I think it has actually almost surpassed launch as my favorite part, because you're really seeing them, you're the last people to see them before they go out, and that's pretty cool.
This is crew walkout 100 for Susan.
I think it's actually crew walkout, I counted them all up, it's crew walkout around 25.
Dedication.
That's true. Low mileage one element. Dude, I want the Astro van.
There's a saying in the chat room, Astro van, one owner, low mileage.
George, what'd you think?
Hey, what's your name? Melinda. Melinda. Jen, it's nice to meet you.
Thumbs up.
To see you.
Very cool. Yeah, the last walkout, theoretically, for Space Shuttle Atlantis, crew of STS-132.
Very cool, very cool. It was neat to be here. A big crowd, bigger than what they said they normally see out here. Lots of people to see these guys off on what may be the final voyage of Atlantis. And everybody excited. It's cool to see how excited people get just to see the astronauts up close.
Yep, and there goes your helicopter security.
Yeah, lots of escorts for these astronauts. Even here, behind all the security gates, they still have helicopters and armored cars and big stuff.
And so let's go back to Ben and Carrie Ann because they will...
You guys will probably be seeing them drive by in just a minute.
In just a minute.
7, 6,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woohoo! Yeah! Go, go, go!
Oh, yeah.
We were so close. Like, I still can't even
Exactly. Possibly the last flight. Maybe not.
we're, this is like right on the water, right behind.
So George, what are we getting here?
Just going to get a quick shot at a big blank wall that used to have the Constellation project on it, but no more.
So that's this big wall right here?
There's a little bit more, but it's okay.
We're done now. We've decided.
There's a big blank wall, and that was kind of the point.
Did you see the big blank wall?
Yep.
Did you see it? There was more video. It was a shot of a picture that actually showed it was these huge panels of the Constellation program. So it was the Ares 1 and Ares 5 and the Orion capsule and
landing on the moon again. I mean, it was beautiful. It was very big, backlit. A lot of money went into that, and then one day, poof!
You got this right here.
Yeah, we're actually going to run it again. There you go.
Nothing. Trash cans.
Bit of an irony that they have the trash cans right down there.
Yeah, and this is in the press area.
There are all the other countries are going
press center. This is where the press sits.
Yeah, the teeny tiny little areas that they give you for press.
That wall is kind of bare without anything on it.
All right, Tim. We're back behind the scenes. Good stuff?
A shot from Asphalt Road. That's pretty good.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty high elevated.
Down in the parking lot, we've got an array of satellite news trucks that will be broadcasting back to all of the local and national agencies. And the ever-important snack mobile.
Yeah, you can kind of get a better
We're
idea.
totally lounging in those chairs.
Oh,
You
we
see
are.
that?
But you can see the VAB is like right there.
We're the only ones
what'd you think,
pointed
George?
that direction.
It's good. Another fabulous day here at the Kennedy Space Center. Another picture-perfect launch. We didn't say that, but it was beautiful as always. Now traffic. Traffic is the other behind-the-scenes story you don't always see.
Of course, now these are the tents. So we've been up here before too, George.
That's right.
There we go.
There you go.
That's my wife.
Hi,
Hi, Marisa.
Hi, Marisa.
They did great to me, except for the guy back there. I don't like him.
There's Jason behind him, behind us in the middle.
And it's a lot of things. I mean, it's
Nice
getting
air
better power out
conditioning
here.
up tent.
Oh, air conditioning was a big deal. It was so nice.
And it was actually, logistically, it was very difficult to put together. And
Yeah, so there you go, the rest of the video. And the traffic was way insane.
Oh my God, 90 minutes to just get like
to 95.
Yeah,
right?
It was crazy. It's not good.
It's always that bad though, folks. Unless you're in Titusville, and then you can just go right back to the house and you're cool.
Which was
but I've never seen it that bad. I never saw it that bad at when Return to Flight, 2005. 2005 Return to Flight, it wasn't that bad.
Really?
Not at all.
It's getting more and more. So if anybody hasn't gone down to see a launch, you really need to come down here and see one because everybody's coming out. Everybody.
But definitely, have that kit in your car, the kit to plan to spend a few hours in your car after lunch. But it's worth it. It's history.
You need a bottle of water, and you need a pack of crackers, and you need a piddle pack, so you don't have to try to stop and pee on the side of the road. What else? A book? Not if you're the driver, but everybody else.
An iPad book. You don't need a.
Yeah, an iPad. That's right.
There you go. See, that's all you need. You just download with.
Not mine, but.
Oh, I was like, well, sweet, go! All right, so we're going to wrap up the official part of this show. We're going to go into post-show in a moment, and we're going to give something away before we do that. A bag full of swag that Jason helped. Jason helped get some of this, right? No, we didn't include because Jason got us a cool swag bag that I don't think.
Yeah, no, Jason did.
Okay,
yeah.
This is just Jason bag, swag bag?
Well, no, it's a combination. It's a cumulative 132 swag bag.
All right.
That Jason helped accumulate some of this for us, and Flying Jenny did. And
so we're going to do that. We're going to stay on the line with Tim and George, and then we're going to talk more about this stuff in post-show. And if you want to hear more about what we're going to talk sharks, exploration, just all cool stuff. If you want to get that, you're going to need to become a Spacevidcast Epic subscriber. Epic subscriptions help pay for the show, helps us go down to Kennedy Space Center and do this coverage. Hopefully we'll have so many Epic subscribers soon that we'll be able to have one of those satellite trucks that you saw Tim and I think, yeah, exactly, with a big dish. So we can be like, high definition! And do some really cool stuff like that. And it's your Epic subscriptions that help pay for that. And by the way, when you're an Epic subscriber, all those annoying ads at the bottom of the screen, poof, disappear. So it's just one more advantage to getting Spacevidcast Epic at spacevidcast.com/epic. I just want to say epic one more time. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Stay with us, George and Tim, and we will see everyone. Oh, no, we have to give this stuff away. I'm like signing off. We haven't given anything away. What do we have? What are we doing for a contest?
I don't know, but in the meantime, let me explain all the stuff that's in here. And I'll go through it as quickly as I can because you are apparently...
You want to come on camera? Right here.
In the mood.
Here's what we're gonna do.
To sign off. So the bag itself I actually got from the Space Tweep Society. So it's this cool little backpack as I completely cover up Ben here.
Here's what. All right. So finish off, and I'm going to tell you. You're going to pick our winner.
Okay. So this is the International Year of Astronomy 2009 bookmark. There is a Titan bookmark. There is a cool, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, nope, not really, but it's this holographic thingy going on here. An STS-132 sticker, which Jason got for us, thank you. STS-132 pin, which Jason got for us. A SETI Quest sticker, of course, a Spacevidcast sticker. There's also an Expedition 24 sticker. There is a shot of the crew for STS-132, which has lots of cool information on the back of it. No, it's not signed because they got on the frickin' thing and went away. Then there's a couple of different posters. This one is from the Coalition for Space Exploration. It's this really cool thing, New Horizon World. Okay, that is that. And then there's this other one that I also got from Flying Jenny, which is Mars versus Earth, which is also kind of cool. And there's lots of like fun, interesting facts and things to do on the back. And
Mars is not Earth.
Yeah, pretty much. See? Mars is tiny. So yeah, anyway, so it's a cool little thing and some fun, interesting posters, a lot of fun, interesting stickers, and a bag that goes with it. So that's what somebody here is going to be doing.
That is what you can win, and here's how this is going to work. Ben, I need you to give me a number. Here's what we've got. We've got everyone who's been tweeting for the show sitting here on my iPad. These are the last 15 tweets. Ben, give me a number between 1 and 15.
13.
13. Really? You're going to make me count down 13?
Yes.
He hates me.
1. No, just count up from the bottom.
All right, hang on. I'm going to actually make sure.
Just be like, add 1, 2. There you go.
Well, yes. Fund NASA. Twitter name Fund NASA has won the bag of swag here on Spacevidcast. All right, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're going to see you in post-show in just a moment. Stay with us and join us next week, 2 o'clock a.m. Coordinated Universal Time every Friday. That's 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time, or 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. Talk to you guys later.
It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. In 1969, people asked change. On the moon. In 1970, our journey. We've never